Hello and welcome to Breaking Black News. And I am Breaking Black News. And the reason for this video today is because I want to talk about why black people aren't going to vote for Donald Trump. And the reason why we're doing this video is because there's a lot of talk about um, black people voting for Donald Trump, and it's supposed to be a record number of people, black people voting for Donald Trump this year, and so on and so forth. So, I just wanted to, as me, I am black. I'm qualified to speak on this subject of black people voting for Donald Trump because I hear a lot of intimate conversations amongst black people about this election, about Donald Trump, about Joe Biden. And so, yeah, that's the reason for this video today. And so I feel that 95% of black people are not going to vote for Donald Trump. And I'm going to give you the reasons to that for the 95% reason. And the first reason I'm going to give is because and I made a list. It was so many different things that really jumped off the page at me about this. Just even stuff that I didn't even know about Donald Trump. But in New York, Donald Trump and his family business was found guilty for discriminating against black people in the housing market. And as I said, they were found guilty for that. The 1968 Voting Rights Act, how Fair Housing Act. Um, and so that's the first thing. Um, the second thing I think that is going to uh, not allow a lot of people to vote for Donald Trump. I don't care how much they might like the guy or whatever, but there's one thing about black people is that black people don't forget. We don't forget our history. We don't forget where we come from. We don't forget how we got here. And that is going to play a significant role in black people voting for Donald Trump. Um, but another thing is that one of the biggest things that people deal with here in America is taxes. And Donald Trump, he don't feel that rich people or major corporations should pay taxes. And a lot of people, not just black people, everybody feels like that's not fair uh, for uh, for rich people and corporations not to pay taxes, or to pay less taxes than a doctor or a lawyer or somebody that owns a small business. I think that is going to affect the way black people uh, vote uh, in 2024. Another thing that uh, another reason that black people aren't going to vote for Donald Trump is because, hey, the guy was caught on tape saying that he sexually assaults women, that he, just walk up to them and grab them by the peas, and just, kiss them in the mouth and just has his way with them. And the reason I say that is because there are so many people in this country that have been indicted, arrested for a lot less than that. Um, uh, but to catch him on tape saying that he has done these things, like the E. Jean Carroll trial that just happened, whereas he was found guilty for that, like the Stormy Daniel case where he paid the prostitute, the porn star, for hush money. It's just different things along that line of things that black people remember. And and the reason why that is so significant to black people is because a lot of that stuff, a lot of those things black people have been accused of in the past. A lot of black people have been arrested, lives have been affected because of that very thing. And so black people don't forget. Everything that goes on in this country, black people realize and they relate it to how it affected their lives in one way or another, whether it directly affected your life or indirectly affected your life. But black people remember stuff like that. Another thing is that he's never denounced um, what happened January 6th. And it's a, this is a big subject amongst everybody, not just black people, white people, everybody that lives here in America, because in modern day times, people have never seen a live mob in action. And so, um, yeah, and there are a lot of questions out there about that January 6th incident. And a lot of black people feel like if those people that stormed the Capitol, that did that riot, had have been black, they would have got nowhere near that Capitol. To be able to walk away with as few casualties as they were that happened, and there's evidence of this. There is this evidence of these things to support that theory that black people wouldn't have gotten nowhere near the Capitol. And for Donald Trump to call those people that stormed the Capitol very fine people, patriots of this country, it leads people to wonder uh, about his character. It leads people to wonder about his ideology, about governing and leading this country. Is it going to be just a one-sided affair? Do you really have everybody's best interests at heart? Because if you take a vote for this, which they've done, survey shows that there are more people that disagree with what happened on January 6th than there are people that agree with that. And it reminds black people that day, black people had a visual. Um, Modern day American black people had a visual of what our ancestors went through when the white supremacist mob stormed black towns and black cities, killing, um, looting, raping, um, stealing the land, uh, running them out of town with nowhere to go. It reminds black people of that. That's what the majority of black people, when they were looking at that insurrection, when they were looking at that mob, it reminded black people of what happened to their ancestors um, back when in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Greenwood area, whereas they burnt down Black Wall Street, uh, you know, uh, and that happened all across the country. Central Park used to be a black town. There are the story goes on and on. Like I said, it just really kind of jumped off the page at me about what happened in Wilmington, North Carolina, back in 1898. Clinton, Mississippi, back in 1875, uh, right here in Atlanta, Georgia, whereas a white mob burnt down Atlanta. So that's what black people remember when it comes to January 6th. And to have Donald Trump to send those people, to order those people to go to the Capitol to stop the peaceful transfer of power and to hang Mike Pence. That word hang, it resonates with black people, even though black people today, we weren't back there during that time, but our ancestors were, and everybody knows the story. It's nothing new about it, regardless of how hard they try to whitewash history or to sweep it under the rug as if though it never existed. Black people don't forget. So these are the reasons why I feel 95% of black people will not support Donald Trump in this election. Yeah, that might be a few. It might be, I say 95%. But when it really comes down to this election, when it comes down in November to nominate, to elect a president, uh, I strongly feel that black people are not going to vote for Donald Trump. Hey, listen, the guy wants to be a dictator. He said it out of his mouth only on day one. Well, we've never seen a greedy person turn down anything. And so, the wordplay that he uses for only on day one, I mean, people can see through that. Why just day one? Why would you just do something for one day? It don't stop there. And it's not so much as about Donald Trump. Let's make this clear. The reason why a lot of black people are not going to vote for Donald Trump is because, yeah, the guy said he wants to be a dictator. Yeah, the guy praises dictator rulers and countries like Putin and Jin Jinping and all of those people like that. But it's not so much as about Donald Trump. It's also who he's taken with him, and the people who support him in his quest for power. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I am an independent. Let me say this because I know and realize that a lot of people that see this video, they're going to say, oh, he's just a Democrat. I'm not. I'm not. And I also know the history of Democrats and Republicans. Yes, at one point in time, black people used to be Republicans. They did. Before the switch happened, before the Republican leader voted against the 1964 Voting Right Bill that gave black people rights to vote. And when the Republican leader voted against that bill, black people went over to the Democratic side. And because of the fact that the white supremacist Democrats at the time, they didn't like that fact. So they started to switch over to the Republicans. So I understand all of this, and in the dynamics of everything. And but as I was saying, that black people don't forget. They don't forget about when we hear that word dictator. Uh, it reminds us of uh, what the dictator used to be during slavery time, and he was called a master. And that's what when black people hear dictator, that's what resonates in their minds. That is what they think about. Anything dealing with anything controlling uh, black people, uh, we're not going to go for that. And so the small percentage of people that conservative people or the people who are misunderstood about Donald Trump for whatever reason that they're voting for him, a lot of black people feel like Donald Trump gave them money during the pandemic. That's not true. Donald Trump put his name on the check, but Nancy Pelosi was responsible for that pandemic money. But Donald Trump, just like he did the border, he's doing the border bill right now that Joe Biden just came up with. He's telling the Republicans not to go along with the border bill that could fix the border because he wants to take credit for it. See, black people hear stuff like this. Black people are not stupid in this country, regardless of how much the Republican Party, the Conservative Party, likes to think that they are. They're not. They're not. And that's why Joe Biden won the first time this last election, is because black people got a chance to see who Donald Trump really was in his 4 years. And they decided then that this guy right here is not for the American people. And everything that he does is for himself, and it's for the people that he loves to surround himself with, which is the elite rich. It's nothing for the people of America. And that's another reason that black people are not going to support Donald Trump. Here's another reason. Donald Trump proudly boasts about overturning Roe versus Wade. And, and uh, a lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of women, it's not going to vote for Donald Trump. Black, white, Hispanic, it don't matter. Because women truly feel, and a lot of men feel, that the government should not have a say over women's bodies. But he proudly boasts about that. That's not going to help Donald Trump with black people, and it's not going to help him with a lot of other race of people as well. That's another reason why uh, black people are not going to vote for Donald Trump. And here's another reason why black people are not going to vote for Donald Trump is because he helped the Republican Conservative Party overturn the affirmative action. Affirmative action was put in place by the government so that private entities or institutions couldn't discriminate against people of color, not necessarily black, Asian, Hispanics, or whatever. And also couldn't discriminate against white people at black institutions or universities or facilities. But he proudly boasts about that, helping overturn affirmative action. And that's another thing that's going to be on the ballot this election. Um, so, but here's one thing that I want to talk about is that the Republican Party, not so much as Donald Trump. Let's get this clear right now. Donald Trump is in trouble. Donald Trump had 91 indictments. Now I think it's down to 88 because the judge in Georgia just threw out 6 cases on him. But Donald Trump is in trouble. And in public's opinion, outside of the MAGA Republicans, uh, people really do feel that Donald Trump is guilty of his crimes. Outside of the MAGA Republicans. And there are way more people that feel that Donald Trump is guilty of his crimes than there are people that feel that he's not. And people are very aware of what's going on with this election, to the point to where they see uh, the favoritism that the United States government is showing Donald Trump, more so the Republican side of it. But let's get this clear. Uh, we feel, the American people that are not in the MAGA party, feels that Donald Trump should be held accountable for his crimes, for what he's being indicted for what he's being accused of. Uh, and people know that if you're innocent, you're not going to try to hide those things, or you're not going to try to get those things to go away. You're going to want to fight those things. You're going to want to say, "Hey, look, these are lies. Let's face this. I'm not guilty. I'm innocent in this, and I'm not running from it. And I will prove my innocence." People can see uh, the deflection of what's going on when it comes to Donald Trump. So, America, one of the things that America has always boasted about is that no man is above the law. And so, people really do feel that Donald Trump should be accountable, should have to go and face what he's being accused of. That's another reason why black people are not going to vote for Donald Trump, because as a black man, as being in the black race, I have seen so many black people go to prison, uh, uh, be arrested for a lot less than what Donald Trump is being accused of. And black people are going to remember that when it comes to the election boxes, because, and it ain't just black people. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean to make it sound like it's just a black, that is a black issue alone, because it's not. There have been a lot of people who've been indicted, wrongfully indicted, wrongfully incarcerated, wrongfully accused of stuff that they've had to go and face, and in America. So, but at the same time, if there is no man above the law in America, then uh, the American people see how the United States government, uh, more so the Republican MAGA part of it, is trying to help Donald Trump escape persecution. They're trying to help him, and that is a bad look on America. American people see this, and and basically, uh, the bigger issue about this is that it is tearing down the fabric. It is tearing down the foundation of what America stands for. So much to the point that whereas people are not going to know what to believe. There is no structure. It is tearing down the structure of America by allowing Donald Trump to continue to erode the American system, the American democracy, uh, and so. Um, but yeah, so. Um, That's a lot of the reasons why Black people are not going to vote for Donald Trump is because we see Black people, Hispanic people see, Asian people see, because America is not what it used to be. America is a melting pot for all different types of people in this country. People have come from all around the world, come here to try to live the American dream, and so everybody's watching, not just here in America, but people are watching in other countries. People are watching how this is being handled, and it is not a good look. And Black people remember that what our ancestors went through, and this is just a reminder of to Black people when they go to vote. Uh, I'm not saying that Joe Biden is a better. Listen, hey, look, I truly feel that the red and the blue are two dirty wings on the same bird. I really do. You got big government, and then you got another wing over here that's fighting for states' rights, which is the conservative party. The blue party is for big government, and so, and that's a double-edged sword. Uh, and so, as I said, I'm an independent. I'm not caught up into, being dedicated to one side or another. I can make my opinions uh, strictly off of the facts and what I see. It doesn't matter to me what color you are, whether you're black, red, blue, green. It doesn't matter to me as long as who's ever wearing that color coat stands for the American people that wants to see American people prosper, to live a good life, to not have to die before they live. Uh, and so, and that's what really matters to me. So, in my opinions that I'm giving right now about this election and about Black people voting for Donald Trump, it is not a biased opinion. Uh, uh, but as I stated before, I am a Black man and I am qualified to speak for the Black people in this country with my platform that I have here at Breaking Black News. And that so yeah, that's I can go on and on about other stuff. The reason why Donald Trump, Black people would not vote for Donald Trump, but those are the things that I just kind of wanted to touch on, and talking about this because it's a big deal right now. This election will shape the outcome of America going forward. And a lot of people don't know behind the scenes. It's really not about Donald Trump, as I was saying, I was alluding to earlier, is that it's everybody that he's taken with him. He's taken white nationalists with him. He's taken white supremacists with him. He's taken the Ku Klux Klans with him. He's taking all of these different radical group of people who are trying to save him for their own personal agenda. Donald Trump is just a pawn in this thing. We all know that the president of the United States is the commander in chief of the military. The president of this country really don't have any power unless he's got Congress behind him. That's why the House, that's why the Senate is so important. That is Congress. The president basically, now he can tell the military to go and blow up Turkey or go to war with China or whoever. But when it comes to making decisions here in this country, the president really doesn't have a whole lot of power if he doesn't have Congress behind him to push his agenda. And so that's what makes Donald Trump so dangerous in this election in the eyes of black people. You know, every city that Donald Trump talks about, black cities, he calls them shithole countries. It seems to black people that the only people that he really attacks are black lawmakers and judges and DAs. These are just the appearance of things, of how things really appear to be to black people. And it ain't just black people, because a lot of white people that voted for Trump when he was elected, a lot of those conservative Republican people, they're not going to vote for him this election. I can honestly say that, and I don't have to be white to say that. There are a lot of Hispanic people that are not going to vote for Donald Trump this election, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, just last night or a couple of days ago, he just had a rally where he says he's going to have a mass roundup deportation of Hispanics. So what that means is that a lot of Hispanics that are here legally, they're going to get caught up into the rapture of it. They're going to have to prove that, hey, I am here legally, because you just can't look at a person and say that they are here legally. You can't do it. So there's going to be a real, if Donald Trump is reelected to the presidency, America as we know it now will not exist anymore. And I'm not talking, because this is not hate speech. I know a lot of you MAGA Republicans out there saying, hey, you just hating. No, I'm not. See, what I know is this, as a black person, as a black man, black people have only been free to live their life peacefully the way we're living life now for about 65 years. Black people were enslaved in this country for 250 years or 55 years. Black people have only been free from slavery, let's just say 145, 150 years. But here's the thing. You can't forget about the Klan. You can't forget about Jim Crow. You can't forget about Bull Connor. That went on for about 90 years after black people were released from slavery. So if you do the math, give or take, black people have only been free to live in this country for about 65 years, peacefully, without crosses being burnt in their yards, without churches being burnt down, without being fired off of your job for no reason other than your skin color. When they see that you are trying to come up out of the mud, turn something into nothing, and you were hated on and you were fired off of your job because of that, because your kids were in private schools and they knew these things about you. So in order to affect your life, they would do stuff in order to change your life. Evil, wicked stuff. See, black people have not forgotten that. And when it comes down to Donald Trump in this election, he reminds black people of all of these negative things that happened in the past. They're trying to convince the younger generation that America ain't racist anymore, but they keep doing things to show that they are. They're trying to convince these young generations that, that, hey, what happened in the past, that's not what's going on right now. No, it's not blatantly going on to where we can see it with our eyes every day, but behind the scenes, behind the doors, they are working to destroy the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment rights. That's the whole battle of the whole thing of Democrats and Republicans. Why do black people vote for Democrats? I'm gonna tell you why black people vote for Democrats. Black people vote for Democrats because without the government, black people wouldn't be where they are today. Black people wouldn't be able to eat in the nice restaurants. Black people wouldn't be able to go to the nice hotels. Black people wouldn't be able to go to the same doggone movie theaters as the white counterpart, our white American sisters and brothers go to. That's what the Republican Party stands for, is state rights. The Democrat wants to regulate, the Republican wants to deregulate. The Republican side wants to be able to control everything by states' rights, to whereas they can say, hey, no, we don't serve you right here at this hotel. No, you can't come over here and eat at this restaurant. That is what could happen if the Republicans have their way. State rights, laws that says that, hey, that they can profile, racial profile. Going through one state to another, you might get stopped 50 times before you get out of that state. But the government says that that's not right. You can't racial profile. That's what it's all about. That's what this whole thing is about. Outside of the fact that they see that this country is turning browner and browner. They feel that they're losing control of this country. And I truly, truly, truly feel that message, that coalition, that MAGA coalition, that Make America Great coalition is only directed toward one group of people. Oh, why do you say that? That's not what it means. But even though it in your mind, but it may not mean that, but in black people's minds and people that have come here and migrated from other countries, Make America Great, that knows the story about America and how America became the superpower that it did, that it is today. America has never been great for black people. You can't tell me not one time when America has ever been great for black people. You can't. You can't. Not in American history has America ever been great for black people. There are a lot of opportunities here, but there are a lot of opportunities for everybody. Okay? America is great in that sense, that there are a lot of opportunities. People can be whatever they want to be in America, whereas in other countries you can't. America is great in that sense. But let's be honest. Let's be true. Let's not play. America has always been about black and white. Ever since slavery. The original people, which they say are the Indians, they were just trampled. They were ran off. They were called savages. They were put on reservations. They didn't matter. They never made as much money off of Indians as they made off of black people. Black people were the backbones of this country. Black people were the sole product of the American industry. Free labor. The Indians were savages. They wasn't going for it. The Indians would go to war. They go to war. They just didn't even want to have nothing else to do with the Indians. They just said put them over here on a reservation because we can't control them. They ain't gonna do right. They ain't afraid of us. We don't want no parts of them. Y'all can have this reservation over here under regulation. America has always been about black and white. That's what the Civil War was about. Come on now. The Civil War was about the freedom. It was about white supremacy way of life. They never wanted to let black people go. But government stepped in and said, hey, this is inhumane. This ain't right. Black people are always 3/4 human. Everything was always emphasized on blacks. So, come on now. We're just going to keep it honest here on Breaking Black News. This ain't no racist, none of that. This is just truth. And I understand that everybody has an opinion and everybody's truth is different. But here on Breaking Black News, we're going to break it down to the simplest terms of truth. And that's still not going to convince everybody because when people's minds are made up, they're made up. Just like the MAGA supporters that are supporting Trump, they know the truth, but they accept his ideology. They accept his vision for this country. They accept the responsibilities that come along with him. They are willing to roll the dice of democracy in America for their leader, for their king, for their want-to-be dictator. They know the truth. America has never been great for black people, but it's been great for them, the recipients of what they inherited in America. It's been great for them. You got a lot of white people who are still living good in America right now because of what their ancestors left behind. What their ancestors took, stole. Just be honest. Come on now. I'm not being hateful. I'm not being racist. I'm speaking facts. If the shoe was on the other foot and black people had been the recipients of America's greed and wealth, how would you feel? You would feel the same way black people feel about this. Let's just be honest. And that's why they're trying to stop America right now from turning browner and browner. That's why they want to make America great again. Because it's never been great for black people. It's been good to black people, but it's never been great. Black people have only been free to live their lives about 65 years. America says she is a racist, but she keeps doing things to show us that she is. Donald Trump is a prime example. Rich white guy, white supremacy. One of the things that American government hates right now is that Donald Trump has put them in this position to where they have to openly try to save white supremacy. They hate that. They hate that. They're doing everything they can not to convict this man, not to bring this man to court, because if it does, then that is going to tear down white supremacy in this country. They're saying it's unprecedented. It's only unprecedented in America. It has been done in other countries. Other countries have taken their leaders, their crooked leaders, and they have prosecuted them. They have sent some to prison. It's a whole list of them. You don't got to believe me. Research other countries that have taken their leaders, their ex-leaders, that have voted their leaders out, that have convicted their crooked leaders. Like I say, breaking black news. We're going to give you the simple facts, the simple truth in layman's terms so everybody can understand it. I'm not going to use all of these big fancy words. I want everybody to be able to relate to what breaking black news is saying. Because sometimes the media it has gotten so, so executive and so, so politically correct to whereas they use a lot of words that everyday people, in a lot of terms and conversations that a lot of people really can't relate to. Everybody in America is not educated. Everybody in America is not aware of uh, 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 what's going on in America because of the way that the media presents the information. It's meant to leave the people who can't comprehend behind. Here at Breaking Black News, we don't want to do that. We want to be able to talk to everybody, and that's what I'm doing right now. We're going to keep it simple. America hates American government hates that Donald Trump is putting them in this position. But hey, look, a lot of people feel that America is getting what she deserves. A lot of people feel that America is getting what she deserved because the reason Donald Trump was elected was because of Obama. Donald Trump is a reaction of Obama. They hated Obama so much, man, and he's the first Negro president. He's the first Negro president in America. So Trump was a reaction, was a counter reaction to Obama. And so a lot of Americans feel, and I'm going to say it here on Breaking Black News, I'm going to say it. A lot of Americans feel that the conservative movement with Donald Trump, they're trying to make sure that there will never be another election. Because if they're going on with a dictator, if they're going along with somebody that wants to be a strong man, and then they are trying to save him in the court system, knowing that justice is trying to shed light on corruption, and they're trying to hide him from that. So basically, what the Supreme Court is saying, and what the Republican conservative party is saying is that we're going to try to help save you, and if you win, you better never come out of presidency because they're going to be waiting on you. They're going to be waiting to send you to prison. So you better not never come out. Basically, that's what they're saying. Because Donald Trump only has 4 years. He's 78 years old. So what does that make him? 82 years old at the end of his term? I don't wish anything bad on anybody. I don't hate Donald Trump. I just don't respect him. I don't respect him because no man in America is above the law. And the things that he's been accused of, I think that he should have to face his peers. It's just as simple as that. I'm not hoping that he's guilty. As a matter of fact, before he ran for president, I used to admire Donald Trump because he tricked me like he tricked a lot of people. I was thinking he was a hell of a businessman. He was definitely a savvy businessman, but I thought that he was just a genius. Hey, Trump, Trump Towers, Trump golf clubs, all of this stuff like that. Until I really started to find out that, hey, the guy was sitting on gold toilets. His daddy left him a pretty doggone good inheritance. He could mess up money, unlike you and I, in investments and try to regain. Banks gave him loans because, hey, he was a hell of a marketer. He's a hell of a PR person for his brand. I admired that, but I don't admire Donald Trump for a president. Joe Biden beat Donald Trump the last time, if I'm not mistaken, by 11 million votes. And I truly believe that it's going to be a landslide this time. And it ain't just black people. It's going to be everybody, man, that hears and that sees what the potential of another Trump term would be. So these are my reasons for saying that black people, 95% of black people aren't going to vote for Donald Trump. These are my reasons. And it's not just black people. There are a lot of different people in this country. A lot of people got kids in school, medical school. A lot of people in this country that grew up under a democracy of freedom is not going to let Donald Trump and the Republicans Party destroy that. They are trying to destroy the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. They are trying to gut the Civil Rights Act behind the scenes. Donald Trump is a distraction. They want you to focus on Donald Trump. They want you to focus on all of this stuff dealing with Donald Trump. I don't care about Donald Trump. I really don't. I care about the people that are behind Donald Trump that is trying to destroy people of color's way of life in this country. Voting rights, affirmative action, taking the power away from a woman to govern her own body, putting people's lives in risk about pregnancies that are not fruitful pregnancies, that are not positive pregnancies. I don't care about Donald Trump. I'm a black man. I care about everybody. I love everybody in this country. Who am I to hate? I didn't create this. They say God created it, or Allah, or Buddha, or whatever you choose to call your God. So who am I to hate another human? But I am a black man, and I care about my black people in America. I care about people all around the world, but I am an American black man. And I care about how this country, the United States government, is going to govern and regulate policies that affect people of color. That's what Breaking Black News is about. Breaking Black News is about shedding the light on the dark. It's about information. It's about knowledge. And it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter. We don't discriminate. Just because the name say Breaking Black News, that doesn't define who Breaking Black News is. So with that being said, everybody, I appreciate everybody's tuning in, and we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep having conversations. Be sure to let me know what you think about it in the comments. Um, and like I said, we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep talking because that's what solves problems. We've got enough of bureaucratic people out there talking the same things, saying the same things, but it's just a bunch of lies and propaganda. It's trying not to step on people's feet, trying not to insult this person, trying not to do all of this stuff to try to cater to everybody, which that's what you want to do, but it's impossible. Everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to like what you got to say. Everybody's not going to respect your opinion. But just as many people that don't respect a person's opinion, there are just as many people that agree and respect people's opinions. That's how you solve problems. Hate is a learned action. Nobody is born racist. Nobody is born racist. No man is better than the other, regardless of who you are, what skin color you are. No man is better than another. And definitely in America, no man is above the law. And with that, I'm gonna say peace. Uh, Breaking Black News. We love you guys out there. And until the next episode, y'all stay woke.